meeting order to, and then silent reflection, pledge,
Do it.
roll call.
Do it after the roll call.
Call to order this August 26th, 2014 regular council meeting. We have a prayer moment of silence, reflection by council member Hall.
Lord, we ask you to send your spirit of servanthood upon all of us gathered here this evening to do your work for the benefit of all in our community. We ask you to bless our elected and appointed officials so they may deliberate with wisdom and act with courage. Bless the members of our community who come here to speak before the council so they may state their cause with honesty and humility. Lord, we ask you to bless us all, that everything we do here tonight will move you to welcome us one day to your kingdom as good and faithful servants. We ask this in the name of our brother Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call. Here. Dries.
Here.
Halter. Here. Hermes. Lee.
Here.
Walther.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to amend the agenda to include an executive session just prior to adjournment for the purpose of discussing the potential purchase and or sale of real estate, and state that there will be no action taken tonight after that executive session.
Okay. All right. We have approval of minutes of the July 22nd.
No, we, second.
Oh,
His
that's right.
amendment.
Yes, sorry. Voice, all in favor say aye, opposed no.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, approval of minutes of the July 22nd regular council meeting and the August 12th council meeting work session. Comments, questions, corrections on the minutes?
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, answer, so moved. All right, now's the time residents can address council, to comment on matters before council, to ask questions or concerns to them. When recognized, please come forward to the lectern, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for easy transcriptions. Comments are 2 minutes, and actually, I'm going to have Mr. Suggs make his comments because he has to get back to the golf course. Thanks.
I'm Joel Suggs, I live at 33 Deerfield Lane. And I'm here with props. and flyers to let you know about 2 upcoming events at the golf course in the next week or 2, so I'll just leave these on the chair. So I'll leave you know to do with them what you want. Take it for yourself. The first event is the Skyline Par 3-Way Cincinnati Golf Championship. So that is for more avid golfers, probably. You've all been invited to that, as well as several other 100 people have been invited. And then the second event following Sunday, September 7th, is a family golf scramble playing to our 8-inch holes. I used to think they were twice as big as the normal 4-inch hole until I redid my 9th grade geometry. And they're actually about 4 times as big as a normal golf hole. So this is as easy as possible for anybody, even non-golfers, to come on out and play a 4-person scramble to 8-inch holes. That's following Sunday, September 7th. And then also to let you know about a few other good things that have been happening at the golf course. We've secured a $10,000 grant from Wadsworth Golf Charities They're the largest golf construction company in the world. They've built about 500 or 600 golf courses around the world. And they have a charitable arm called Links Across America. They've built about 16 starter courses in the last 6 years of their program since they initiated it. And they've helped just 2 or 3 or 4, I think, existing courses around the country. And we're one of the ones they're helping. So some of the interesting looking holes that have trees in the way of the greens will be worked on soon. The second good thing that's happened lately, 2 of the Ohio State PGA professionals who run the professional golf management program at Ohio State came down yesterday and played. We let them play early in the Skyline Par 3-way, and they loved the course. You can see their comments, very complimentary of the course, the facility, on our Facebook page. We also have a YouTube channel with about 20 or 30 different videos on there for a year and a half. We also have a real good website that tells a lot about the course and its uniqueness. And then the last thing I'll tell you is, well, everybody, is that we're the first course in the greater Cincinnati area to have an official GCGA short course rating. We're not long enough to have a normal USGA rating where you can enter scores for your handicap. But now at Greenhills, we're the first one that they've ever done. They were very impressed with the course as well when they came out and rated it back in the spring. And so we have an official short course rating, so you can place legal wagers with your golf cronies, only to be kept in the enclave here of those scores. And they're actually on my computer. Somebody wants to use their computer, they can't. But it's very legal and legit now. We're the first one in the greater Cincinnati that ever done. So, as well as you can enter your ARC scores from other courses and have your handicap at Greenhills now. And everybody continues to say it's in about the best shape ever. They've seen it for about 30 years or so. And in terms of some financial facts, outside contractual services that are being paid to my company, our expenses are down $11,000 from last year, and we kept them ridiculously low last year. And so they were $18,000 at this point last year, they're $7,000 this year, and the revenue is about the same as last year. We've done about $12,000 through July 31st last year, and this year, if you count the promo we did right before Christmas for the memberships for this year, we're at $12,000. I do not have one of the other prizes that will hopefully be awarded in the Skyline. That's the $10,000 for the first hole in one. I just don't have that on me. I'm using as a prop right now.
Is that an 8-inch hole or is that?
Yeah, that one they had insurance and fines, always very thorough, make sure that this was
Which hole is it on?
number 9. Has to be at least 150 yards.
Thanks.
Thanks you guys for letting me stop in.
Sure, appreciate it. Good luck with the folks down there right now, and love what you're doing down there.
Thanks, guys.
Any other comments? Okay. Reports of village officials. Oh, okay.
Well, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, hail to the chiefs, I guess. I just want to say thank you so much for all the work that you're doing. Most of you know, I've been on the campaign trail for over a year now, talking to everyone that I can, and we've been through Greenhills several times, getting to know the members of your community and learning the challenges that you face. Wanted to talk to you a little bit tonight about the local government funds. I know that has been a concern of Greenhills specifically because of the nature of your community. If memory serves me correct, Jackie told me that there's only 3 in the country like yours, if I remember correctly, where it's a unique community unto itself because it's designed a specific way, and it's kind of a unique treasure in our country and especially in our state. And we are working diligently as a campaign, but also talking with other members of the caucus to find answers to that issue next year. I'm relatively confident that the governor has a vested interest in working towards resolving that next year. And so I just want to let you know that I'm constantly looking at that, and every piece of legislation that will come before the House, I will diligently work on to find a way to incorporate that part of that process to help you alleviate that issue. As always, my doors are always open. I view this, if I'm fortunate enough to make the Columbus, I'm here to serve you. It's not the other way around. So take advantage of that. I know the challenges that every community has in the district are so fundamentally different, and that's not even addressing the school issues that are on the western side of the district and the funding problems that you have here too. I know that we all want our kids to have the best possible educations, the best possible opportunities. And that's also going to require us to start thinking a little bit differently on how we educate and encouraging kids to go into vocational options as well. There's some great jobs in the city paying actually more than a lawyer, so I find that kind of interesting, but some good trades that will pay better than we do schlepping it out of the courthouse and across the county. So there's great opportunities in our city and our region, and I really want to help be that conduit for you and to help you connect the dots with Columbus. I know it seems to be a city far removed, especially for our region of the state, and one of the goals is to reconnect us with Columbus. So we've got an active voice and an active person out here fighting for the things that are important to our communities and to the people that live in the streets and the neighborhoods. So thank you very much. I appreciate you the time, and I think I'm at 2 minutes, so thank you.
Thanks a lot. Good evening. Dan Dusa, 9 in Bowden Court, over here in Greenhills. Well, I guess I'll start with the reason I'm here. It's kind of a closing of the kind of shorthand, the prayer at Greenhills Council ordinance. I guess it would be ordinance number 2014-06-LNR. Assuming there aren't any changes, and we'll find that out coming up. I'm happy with the compromise. I like to feel that I was part of the compromise with members of council and other residents, of course. It was a bit of a fight, but I'm glad to see it's resolved. The only thing I would ask is that we keep with the spirit of the Supreme Court case, the Grease versus Galloway, when giving the prayers or the invocations, which I'm sure you will just want to make it public. And while making things public, I might as well just mention my position, in case you couldn't figure it out 2 meetings ago, that my position is that church should be over here and state should be over here, and we really shouldn't be mixing them. However, this is a village of many people, of many faiths, of many beliefs, and I'm willing to compromise. And thankfully, I'm glad that the bill, the ordinance I should say, is, I think, a fair compromise for the village.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Oh, I'm sorry, can I add?
Yeah.
Oh, almost forgot. Thanks, sorry. So with that, I did want to request to the council as a whole to be able to give the next reflection for the next council meeting. It will be secular, but I pledge to you that it would not be anything you would be embarrassed of. I don't consider myself a rabble-rouster. I'm not going to say something crazy or wacky. I'm going to keep within the spirit of the village and the spirit of harmony. So I don't know if that needs to be approved while I'm up here, but I wanted to mention it. So
Discuss that, okay.
discuss it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, reports of village officials. The municipal manager, you'd like to go back.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of notes. I want to mention that our final movie of the summer is this Friday night. Hopefully it will not rain. The movie is Disney's Planes. So plan to be there at 8:30 on the Commons. And thanks to Doug for all his help. Jeff, who's there every time, and Waycross, who has actually donated for the season the screen and some of the equipment that we use. So it's been fun, but we would like to do bigger attendance. So I'm hoping you'll come out this Friday. Also want to mention that the Winton Road Phase 2 bids are due this week. So I hope to get the contract for you at the September first meeting in September, so we can get that project started. Then there are a number of items as the ordinances and resolutions come up that if it's better, I'll wait till each of those come up and then review the details.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Comments or questions?
I have a couple of questions. I saw in the Inquirer that there was an article there that there was another round of workers' comp refunds. They were going to be refunding a total of $1 billion, besides the one that we had before. Have you received any information about that? Do you have any idea of how much we will be getting, and the total amount of it? Because they said this is the second one, the second round of it.
Right, no, we've not received any information on that.
I don't know if it's pertinent, but at my job, we found out that it's gonna be comparable to what we received the first
The
time.
first time around.
So I don't know if that's universal or if that's just, entity by entity, so they said it was, I was told it would be comparable.
And they also, there was a separate article that says that the state workers will pay less insurance. Does that apply to us in any way, shape, or form? That was on the Inquirer of 8/14.
Health insurance?
Yes.
Okay, and again, our health insurance renewal will be December 1st. We're just starting through the process where the employees have to do their online apps. So we're still probably at least 30 days, if not more, away from starting to get our bids. So I don't have updates. Nothing will change until December 1st.
Well, I know that when the amount of the workers' comp says 1 billion, I mean, what we get here is a sliver of it.
Correct.
But I mean, it was a good amount the last time, so I was looking forward to some extra.
Good or bad word.
Okay,
Not aware of any information on that.
all right, thank you.
Law Director Jeff Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. No report tonight.
Director Counsel Catherine Rice.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The August 2014 Community Calendar and Ordinance Number 2014-07F, 16F, 17F, and 18F were posted as required. And the cancellation of the Planning Commission notice of August 12, 2014 is also posted as required. And if there are other questions, that will conclude my report.
Chief of Police Neil Furlman.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. As you know, we appeared before the Commission on Accreditation in Schaumburg, Illinois. On July the 26th, we testified before a subcommittee of commissioners who recommended our reaccreditation to the full commission, and that was subsequently approved later that day. So we were very happy to get that under our belt, and it was an outstanding team effort, notably by our new accreditation manager, Vonda Sequoia, who also serves as our police clerk, and Lieutenant Ann Ward, who was instrumental in locating many of the documents that were needed to justify our accreditation for the past 3-year period. We recently contacted and have worked with the Attorney General's office on behalf of residents who have received some unsolicited mailings and appear to be scams. We forwarded those to the Attorney General for possible prosecution, and a real timely reminder to residents that if an officer appears too good to be true as it comes in the mail, it probably is. Please let us know if those come. We'll continue to work with the Attorney General on those cases. We're very excited that this Thursday we'll be receiving a new 2014 Chevrolet Caprice Police Cruiser. That unit will be picked up for outfitting. It'll provide us with 2 newer vehicles. We have one older cruiser with over 100,000 miles that also must be replaced soon, and one with about 90,000 miles that we're going to continue to use sparingly. Last week we received the last of 3 new WatchGuard video cameras. We're very excited about those. Those replace VHS tape technology. Brings us foursquare into the 21st century. We plan to get those installed into our cruisers as early as next week. On August 18th, we were notified that we received a new federal grant, and that will fund the purchase of new bulletproof vests into 2016. It's a $1,495 grant, and it provides us with 50% funding. Last week, in conjunction with many of the surrounding law enforcement agencies in coordination by the Ohio State Patrol, we participated in the OSP Operation Shield. We focused on saturated patrol of both criminal and drug offenses. That activity, which occurred last Thursday and Friday, resulted in 4 arrests, 9 citations, including an OBI arrest, 3 citations for driving under suspension, and the confiscation of an illegal firearm. At the end of this week, Sergeant Lukes and officers, White and Tricase, will be attending a Defense and Tactics School held in Forest Park. And that training is free and will be a train-the-trainer course. It's being conducted by the Ohio Attorney General's office. Later on, in just a little under 2 weeks, we will be scheduling or conducting an entry-level exam next door at the American Legion Hall. That'll be on Saturday morning, September the 6th. We currently have one vacancy, and we're looking to establish an eligibility list to find some outstanding officer candidates. Speaking of outstanding officers, we received a notice from Forest Park of the work of officers Cameron Guilfoyle and Mike Spinelli on the evening of August 11th. Sergeant Carr of Forest Park Police wrote that the officers performed admirably. Their work ultimately led to the apprehension of a person who was being chased in a rolling disturbance. After subsequent investigation, Officer Spinelli located the person who was in possession of a stolen motorcycle from Norwood. He was fleeing from the family of the owner of the motorcycle. And he was attempting to run back to his truck when he was apprehended, and in that truck we found a loaded .45 caliber pistol. Forest Park was notifying us of the excellent work that the officers did. And right here in Greenhills, you may remember that last month we had a rash of thefts overnight in the I and some of the J sections. Those involved a credit card, several GPS devices, several other items. Officer Tony Patton worked that case and pursued several suspects diligently. He used phone records, computer records, surveillance videos, found that this theft extended all the way over to Blue Ash. And our agency was the one, through Officer Patton's efforts, that able to solve the crimes. There were 2 adult arrests made for receiving stolen property and obstructing official business because in Officer Patton's earlier interviews with one of the suspects, he was provided with false information. Some of the stolen property has been recovered and is going to be returned to the victims pending the conclusion of the case. It was great work by Officer Patton in solving this. During the month of July, we investigated 7 accidents, 5 crimes, 208 other incidents. We made contact with 877 persons, 207 of those were dispatched or received by telephone, and 670 were self-initiated by our officers. We provided assistance to the public in 161 instances and assisted other departments 53 times, and ended up towards the end of the month making 46 criminal arrests and 81 traffic arrests.
Good. Comments or questions?
First of all, I would like to congratulate the chief and the police department for the re-accreditation of Korea. Gone through different episodes or investigations or steps of it with you. And so congratulations.
Thank you.
Second, I have a question. Recently, I've been seeing in different articles a reoccurring theme of reevaluating the curfew for minors in different areas. The most recent one was in Green Township. Before that was Mount Healthy. Do you care to comment whether or not we need to revise that, or you are comfortable the way things are, or what do you think?
Well, it's interesting that the one that first made the news was in North College Hill. And we obtained a copy of that and took a close look at it, and also referred it to the Traffic and Safety Committee and had them take a look at it. Interestingly, some of the text that is incorporated into their new ordinance is already in our ordinance. So unless traffic and safety members feel differently, we think that we have the adequate tools that we need. They seem to be working properly. And it appears that Greenhills was a bit ahead of the curve in adopting some of that language in the ordinance.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Fire Chief Anthony Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just some broad numbers here. Through the end of July, we made 428 runs. That's versus 387 last year. So our run volume is up 11%. And we're doing that with fewer people. So just a reminder of a couple things. Tomorrow night is the concert on the Commons that we are sponsoring. I think the dates have shuffled around a few times because of weather and other issues. So tomorrow night, weather permitting, that is the concert that we're sponsoring. We'll be down there giving out free water and trying to recruit members. And I've also been recruited to do the water bucket challenge with Jim Miller. So that in and of itself ought to be entertainment enough. But anyway, that's tomorrow night. We have 7 EMTs who recently finished EMT school. 4 of them have already taken and passed the test. Alex Wargo, Tim Sauce, Nick Hoffman, and Brooke Burton. So congratulations to them. That's a long period of time for them to be in class for that. I want to welcome new probationary member Michael Wofford. He is a Greenhills resident. And just tonight we just concluded a firefighting class at Greenhills, which was a joint effort between us, Glendale, Wyoming, and Elmwood Place. And so we had 3 of our people in that. So Lauren Geisen, Michael Wofford, and Brooke Burton took their tests tonight. I'm sure they passed. In September of 1976, Aki Hoffman joined the fire department. So this month is 38 years of active service for him. So if you see him around town, and I know most of you do, because that's what he does, pat him on the back and thank him for his service. 38 years. The last, Jack Hoffman from newspaper guy, you guys remember Jack? He had 35 years when he retired, so Aki's already surpassed him by 3 years. So pat Aki on the back. I can't believe we're talking about it already, but beginning the 1st of September, we're going to be checking hydrants. So we do that in an 8-week period from the 1st of September through the end of October. So we'll be out there flushing and making sure the hydrants are all in good shape so that we're ahead of the game for the winter time, which according to the farmers almanac is going to be another bad one. So I believe that. Nevertheless, we'll be ready. Just want to make a comment about a couple of timely issues. Number one, water safety. If you know, just recently, last week in the West Side Apartments complex in the city of Cincinnati, a young man and his son rescued a teenager from the bottom of a swimming pool. Last weekend, a 18-month-old toddler drowned in the city of Fairfield. And then 2 nights ago, a 13-year-old drowned in the Great Miami River. So water safety is a huge, huge issue. I went to the CDC website, and in the United States, about 10 people a day drown. So 3,600 people in a 4-year period have lost their lives to drowning. 1 in 5 people who die from drowning are children 14 and younger. 50% of drowning victims treated in emergency departments require hospitalization. 80% of people who die from drowning are male. 80% of people who die are male. So I guess they're less fear of water, but I don't know.
Yes, we're better.
That too, but children's ages 1 to 4 have the highest drowning rates. In 2009, children 1 to 4 years old died from unintentional injury. More than 30% died as a drowning. So 1/3 of the children's deaths at the age of 1 to 4 is a drowning. So it's just a very real issue, and I think it serves as a reminder just to make sure that we're mindful of water safety in the summertime here. Certainly there's plenty of pools in the village of Greenhills. We have some ponds, and of course we have Winton Woods sitting right here to the south of us. So it's just good when bad things happen. Unfortunately, it makes us all think a little bit. But I would encourage everyone to think a little bit about that. And this came off of the Centers for Disease Control website. Also, it's hot out there. Heat emergencies. Just have everybody hydrate. I know we're selling a lot of the stuff at Kroger's right now. It's good business, but rest often. Limit time outdoors when possible. Elderly and young children are most at risk, and a lot of our residents do a great job, and a lot of elderly folks in Greenhills. Just check on them. 600 people a year die annually from heat-related emergencies, and it always seems like it gets hottest when school starts. I don't know if there's any relation there, but anyway, be mindful of heat emergency. And speaking of school starting, you know, it's odd that school buses are out there in the morning already and kids are walking to school, so they just ask for everybody to exercise caution there. The last topic I wanted to talk to you about back to school is university housing fires. I know I have a college student, many of you guys do. A lot of issues with university housing fires. A couple of years down in Clifton, a couple students died in a house fire. My son lives in a university housing unit down in Clifton. 3,800 university housing fires occur each year. 3,800 a year. 80% of university housing fires are cooking fires. Small confined cooking fires account for 81% of university housing fire. However, cooking fires comprise of 9% of non-confined university housing fires. So it's cooking, and it's usually in the middle of the night. You know, they've been up studying or doing other things, come home late, get hungry, and then the next thing you know, there's a fire. University housing fires occur most frequently in the late summer, so right now, and the fall, peaking September at 12%, in October, November. September, October, November account for 33% of all fires throughout the year. So 1/3 of the fires occur in the next 3 months on university housing. So I just bring that up just to remind all of you that have students, you know, take a look at it. I know I do. You know, the city of Cincinnati, I know for one, has really stiffened up their laws with regard to fire safety and requirements for smoke alarms and exits and so on and so forth. But you know, when you're 19, 20 years old, you don't think it's something that doesn't happen to you. And you know, I think that's part of the issue. It's not awareness is a big thing. So I'll just ask everybody to make that a topic of discussion that applies to you. And then finally, you know, we have 40 members right now. You know, if you take out the 3 administrative members we have about 37 members. And you know, I'll tell you, we train a lot, we answer a lot of emergency alarms, but the hardest thing we do is recruit and retain volunteer firefighters. And I gotta tell you, it is not easy. It is really not easy. And you know, you spoke about, you know, the funds, they're killing us. I mean, the funds available for public safety right now, in my opinion, are at a very high concerning emergency rate. I mean, you ask any community that surrounds us, whether they're career firefighters, police officers, part-time, volunteer, everybody is struggling because there's not enough money. And you know, we certainly have, we're competing with those same individuals. You know, you have to have the same amount of training to work for the Greenhills Volunteer Fire Department as you have to have to be a career firefighter at City of Forest Park or wherever else. So, you know, we say that because we do a darn good job, but I gotta tell you, it's not easy. And we're about 10 people short right now. So we're looking for young folks, people who are committed to the community that live here, that want to serve. You know, I'll be honest with you, it's not easy, but if you have a high level of commitment and it's something that you're interested in, we have the best toys in the world next door, and we like to use them, and we're trained well to do so. And but we need help. We need some people. So if you ever thought about serving the community in that fashion, you know, give us a call, let us know. We'd be more than happy to let you know what we're all about. And just thought it would be appropriate to kind of mention that. So that's all I have.
Chief,
Thank you. Comments, questions?
Chief, I'm just curious to know, where do most of your volunteers come from? Is it a word of mouth kind of thing, or where have you gotten?
It's word of mouth, websites, you know, the vocational schools. You know, we attract a lot of the younger students that just graduate. They're out there looking for jobs, so we can provide a lot of experience, you know, for those young folks that are, you know, aspiring to move up into the paid career positions. But, you know, that's kind of the problem for us. We're providing really good training for them to go somewhere else. So when I say hockey's been around 38 years, that's kind of the, you know, that's an exception to the rule. Most of the young folks that start with us, you know, they move on. I've said this many times, people come and they either stay for a little bit, or they come here and they live here and they stay forever. There's very few people in the middle. So, but we do, you know, recruiting on websites, our own website, newspaper art. I mean, we try to do everything we possibly can do.
And then one other comment. My daughter, who's been a nanny, I think, for this one family about 4 twins. I think they're 2.5, and an older sister, and this is over in Blue Ash. One of the twins, and this is why the parents were home, watching the kids as closely as they felt they could. Dragged a table over, fell into the pool. The sister, who's just, I think, I don't know if she's about 7 or 8, helped pull him out. And one of the guy, there was a friend over, and he had just taken a CPR course, and they were able to revive him, and he was only out, without breathing for 30 seconds or something like that. But, I've taken CPR. Is that something people have access to around here? I know you guys are trained in that, but it doesn't hurt for other people to get trained in that.
We do. We have some CPR instructors, and we try to have community CPR classes from time to time, but again, it's a matter of numbers. We only have so much time and resources because of all of our members, they have other jobs. So, we try hard to do the best we can. We have a great working relationship with all of our neighbors, and I'll tell you, we help them as much as they help us. I mean, it's reciprocal. The paid guys are just as shorthanded as we are, and they're paying. So it all has to do with funding. I mean, it's really a shame that we're having to cut corners in something that's so important.
Chief, on volunteers that you're looking for, if someone doesn't want to do fire suppression, or they don't want to do EMS, but maybe they just want to do the hydrants every year for you, or maybe they want to be a CPR instructor or something, do you have opportunities for people that want a more limited role than the full EMS fire service?
We do. We have more of a need for the people that can make the fire and EMS runs. We actually do have some members that do that. Our fire inspector just does the fire inspection. We have an administrator for EMS. Joy does all of our reporting for us, does a heck of a job. I mean, she saves us literally hundreds of hours a year just in administrative work and transmitting all the data to the state of Ohio that we have to do. So we do have some of those positions available, but the greatest need is for people who are willing and able to be firefighters and EMTs.
And I'd like to make a comment. Joy Hoffman and Aki has done his fair share of recruitment by having his family be in the fire department involvement, and now heading to his grandchildren. I noticed you mentioned Ben Hoffman.
Yeah, Nick.
Nick, rather.
Yeah, he's Aki's grandson.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of, it's a great source of recruitment. And I don't want to scare people. I mean, when the whistle blows, we're coming. But, I just kind of want to relay to people just how difficult it is. It's just not easy.
Maybe we can talk about it at a work session. I don't know if it warrants a one call, just to let the community know, or if there's anything we can do. If you've got any practical step-by-step things that we can help. I know that you guys were at the Harvest Fest last year. I don't know if that panned out for you guys at all, but you're always welcome to any of the events. And I know the kids enjoy the trucks, but hopefully getting from community helps in that way, and getting more volunteers. Just let us know.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, moving on, mayor's report, and the audited court receipts that seem to have disappeared in this big stack of paperwork I have, so the next meeting, give the court receipts information. I received a letter from the ISO rating service, and they rated our building code effectiveness program, and we are for our building department, class 3 rating for commercial and industrial properties, and class 4 for 1 and 2 family residential properties. I'll get that in the file. Maria and I went out and looked at plantings in the community of houses. We went through the town and ended up with more than a third of the houses looking great. But I got to thinking we couldn't afford all the awards that we plan to pass out, which are small awards. reports, but we still have to buy those placards. We were at almost 500. So we recruited Jeff to go out again.
So if you didn't get an award, it's my fault.
So that, it got pared down to about 200. So we'll be putting together a list if I can recruit somebody down to the office if they're not overwhelmed down there with work. We squeeze this in, make up the list, I'll send it to the Journal. And Jeff has agreed to work on the award certification, and then we'll have those distributed. And I talked with Fred about what he had done, but it got lost when the computer crashed, so we'll create a new one. And then one other thing I just wanted to mention, that I hadn't been here for the last month, so I have to be retrained. The last meeting I missed because it was a planned vacation and a regular scheduled meeting that I missed a month ago, was because my older sister died back in West Virginia. And I had two sisters, I still have one surviving, but they were 8 and 10 years older than me, so they spoiled me rotten as I grew up as a little kid. And so you hate to see that, those things happen. So that was why I wasn't here. Okay, moving on, does anybody have any comments or questions?
I just wanted to present my condolences for your loss. And if you have the certificates ready, count on me to go house to house to deliver those. And I don't know, perhaps if anybody else is available, we can all help out.
Move door out.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine.
If their flowers die, do we keep it or? The heat.
The heat is working on them now, but I can't believe the amount of rain that we've gotten up until the last couple of weeks.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yes, right. Okay, committee reports, recreation and cable television. Mr. Hermes is here. Do you have anything to add to the group?
No, I'll just cover some of it when we talk about community development.
Service streets, Councilmember Walter.
Hi, I had a Street and Services committee meeting last afternoon at 5 o'clock yesterday. So there's a couple of things that I would like to share with you. The maintenance building is done. There's no question about it, and that looks very nice. So I'm very happy with that. The street paintings and the stop bars, the school zone, crosswalks, all of that has been completed. We had a discussion of the service department truck fleet, if I may. And we discussed the mileage, the purchase dates and so forth. We have some that are from 1992. We, meaning Mr. Mayor and I, decided that there's what it looks like two particular things that are in great need. And it depends on the village manager what you would think is the number one or the number two. And we thought that one of them was the truck with a snowplow, or the leaf pickup that we have that is also seems to be in a problematic condition. And I urge council when the time comes that we little by little we are going to be able to afford certain things as we sell some of the village-owned property. We were able to get one of the police cars, and maybe the next time around we can figure this one of these needs to be met. And I also heard there was a second police cruiser as well that was needed. So maybe little by little we can do that. I attended the community day at the pool, and the rain stopped, or started rather, because there was a few drops in between. Mr. Dries was there with Mrs. Rees, and of course Mr. Halter was there. And it was a really good time held by all, and the suggestion of having the food on the shelter was very, very nice. It worked out very nicely, and the gate was open, and all the community members that were going to eat, they just separated themselves from the water activities and so forth. So now, it was the last hamburger when the rain poured in. So that was a perfect timing on our part of that. On behalf of Greenhills, I was asked, I don't know how they got my name, but I was asked to speak on behalf of a candidate for the Supreme Court of Kentucky. And it's Teresa Cunningham, and I did. Somehow they found my name, the public official, and I spoke a little bit about Greenhills, and it was close to Lexington where the meeting took place. So it was a different activity for me, and it was very, very nice. I attended the Recreation Commission meeting and had some input and some ideas there. I attended the School Board of Education on 8/25 yesterday night. There were a couple of things that they were bringing up on information. There's an open house happening tomorrow night. There is also a benefit for the education that is coming up in September. And the question that I asked, and I did not receive a response on that, was on view of the passing of the House Bill 171 becoming effective on 9/11, and that is permitting school districts to allow high school students release time to receive religious instruction conducted off school property during regular school hours. The students can be granted up to 2 units of high school credit. So my question was, any of the facilities around the school system, have they come forth to do that? And what would be their system for vetting, for approving instructors for religious classes? Is it a divinity degree, or what was the requirement? I did not receive an answer on that. But that is coming effective on 9/11, and it was signed by the governor in June. I wanted to bring forth that the discussion there geared about the Bill 597 to repeal the Common Core prohibits the political of religious interpretations of scientific facts in favor of another science, as it was adopted on 2011. At this time, the Board of Education did not join into any common ground that we're going to try to support such a change. Also, Mr. Mayor, you have been invited on 9/18 at 6:30 at the Board of Education room to take part on their meeting between the Forest Park Council and the Board of Education. And this fulfills my liaison that I have to provide information about the neighboring Winton Woods school system. I will also, on the urge of Mr. Mayor, on the meeting last night, he asked me, Ms. Kovac, if you want to jump in at this time and explain anything or clarify something. He wanted me to announce that once that you have your recycle bin or your garbage can that has not been picked up, as long as you alert the office, leave a message, even though it might be after hours, as long as the office gets the message the following morning when they come in, you will not be cited. And the instructions is that they will contact Rumpke for you, and you would have to leave either the trash can or the garbage bin, the recycle bin, right where it is, so they will come and pick it up. And you will not be cited on that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and did I word that correctly for you?
Right, and we take calls when somebody gets missed, and we instruct them to leave it out for 48 hours, because Rumpke can't ensure exactly when they'll get back, but seems to work quite well. Also, I do want to clarify, we never cite anybody immediately. We still just very much send, they're not even warnings, they're just kind of informational, like, this is a violation. And in those instances, it's usually the can is empty and it's still sitting out.
Sitting outside, okay.
It's not a case where they didn't get picked up. So yes, that's
But it's perfectly okay under your authority to say that for 48 hours, it could sit there until it gets picked up.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question on that. Should the resident contact Rumpke directly themselves, or are we gonna use staff to call Rumpke on their behalf? And I don't know how frequent this happens, because I asked, I'm embarrassed to say my wife brings the cans in. She likes to do that, I guess, and I appreciate that. But I asked her, I said, we've lived in the village almost 30 years. Have we ever not had our garbage picked up? She goes, I don't think ever. And so how big an issue is this? And then do we want to use time and staff to do it?
I don't think it's a big issue, and I think it works well for our staff to call Rumpke. And
Okay.
in addition, when Rumpke is making their rounds for the recycling, they stop at our office to see if, like midway through the day, to see if we've received any calls of
Okay,
anybody.
great, good.
And then if it's in the later half, they wait and get the message to come back. So I think it's worked quite well. And
Okay,
it's not a
good.
big
I know
issue.
that
Rumpke
we're
is very
contracting with them, and if we're not
accommodating.
satisfied, we need to be aware
I
that we
think
shouldn't
you're
be
doing a great
satisfied.
job with
But
that.
I didn't
Every now
want
and then
our
it's-
staff to spend an inordinate amount of time
It's not.
calling on behalf of people. Okay.
You don't think there's a moment right now that we should bring that up at work session or anything like that?
I really don't see that it's an issue for us. It's just random every now and then. Usually it's a case where a car maybe has blocked a recycling can and somebody has to call again, but it really does not happen very often at all.
Okay, and just want to let everybody, remind them that please do not forget when you renew your license plates, make sure that it says Greenhills 45218. I always heard that reminder, and this past May, my information there did not say Greenhills, and it had a different zip code as well. So it may not happen for a long time, and then suddenly it does happen, and these are monies that are sent to us in here that we can certainly use for other things. And Mr. Mayor, just for your information only, I just wanted to let you know that the prayer that I have chosen is not just by luck. It's the prayer that caused the lawsuit in Greece, New York, and it was the one that the Supreme Court voted 5-4, that it was an okay prayer to say. And that would conclude my report, and thank you very much.
Comments or questions? Hearing none. Community development, Councilmember Halder.
Yes, community at the pool, we were concerned about the weather.